Hello mga kababayan, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Laruan ni Obi-Wan. For this Saturday morning's review, we are going to take a look at Mcfarlane Toys DC Direct Page Punchers. This is the Superman figure. So let's examine the contents of our purchase. So the figure would come in a transparent tray with an alternate set of hands, and actually the rest of the contents is going to be in a bag like this. So the flight stand, the trading card, and the comic book would be on separate bags. It is actually not caged in transparent plastic on the back of the cardboard box inside the packaging, but it's in a bag like this, which makes actually easy access or possibly easy storage for items later. Immediately out of the box, this figure already has been modded, and I already played with it, so I'm already familiar with the points of articulation on this figure. But right out of the box, I immediately knew the handsets had to be changed. So you're given two sets of fist hands and two sets of flight hands. But actually the handsets that came with this figure are just way too big for the figure. So what I did immediately was just to dip the forearms in boiling water and pop out the joints and the handset that came with it and replaced it with a new one. Because when you take a look at it from the packaging at Walmart, it would specifically look like this, that the handsets that came with this figure look like they are as big as boxing gloves. So as for the alternate handsets that are on this figure right now, it is from this wrestling figure, which has an alternate handset, and somehow the skin tone is almost close a match to the Superman figure that we have. Okay, so of course the peg joints are different, so what I used was just a little bit of glue, stick a little bit of glue on the hollow forearm where the hands would connect to, and just before the stick glue would really harden, just jam that hand in, and voila, you have a new pair of handsets that are anatomically correct for the figure. So I did some research on this Superman figure and found out that this is from a Lee Bermejo style of design for a classic Superman. So somehow it shares a little bit of the classic Superman design, but as for coloration and some differentiation with regards to the belt and the briefs, actually this is where these two Superman would differ. But actually, if you take out the designers, it is still actually a classic Superman figure, just done in a different tone with different head sculpts. So as for height, these two figures actually go toe to toe. The only difference, of course, would be the color of the suit, the color of the briefs, the design of the belt. But with regards to boot design, there is similarity in boot design. On the cufflinks or the edge of the arm suit, actually the design is similar. As to how big the S is or how the S is designed, actually somehow closely similar. So given the chance to pick between these two figures, it is just going to be a hard pick. But if it's going to be the head sculpt that we're just going to concentrate on, not the suit of the figure, I'm going for the classic Superman. So let's get on with the articulation points on this figure, which is really good. Now this figure looks okay, really hits the mark or sweet spot with regards to the classic Superman that we really want. But if you want a highly articulating McFarlane designed toy, this is the Superman that you go to. This is the Superman that you display. Okay, so let's take a look at the articulation points of this action figure, because right out of the box, actually, the articulation points on this figure are good to go. So immediately, you could really play with this figure. But I guess it would depend on the copy that you get. So for example, you get a copy that the joints are really nice and stiff and stuck, then you have no choice but to really cook this in hot water and try out the joints and loosen them up. But for the copy that I purchased, I was just lucky that somehow the articulation points are already okay. So for the head area, we really have decent range of motion for the head, especially since for a flight stance, we expect a really wide range of motion or head tilts looking up this way, because we want a nice flight pose for our Superman figure, which we are going to do right now. Okay, so for a flight pose like this, something that you want to do or play with, so as you could see, the head tilts on this figure are really nice, I mean. So I guess it's just the design of the head sculpt and the design of the back of the neck that somehow it allows this V on the back of the head to really nicely settle in, so giving us a really decent, not so bad a flight pose for a Superman figure. Okay, so as for the body of the figure, so we have 2 points of articulation. So we have one here on the diaphragm area and on the waistline. So on the waistline, we have circular motion, and also on the diaphragm area, we have the circular motion too. So you have really wide ranges, and actually when you take this out of packaging, or once again, depends on the copy that you get, somehow I'm really satisfied with this copy, because I did not have to do a lot of things to really soften up the joints. It came ready to play like this. Okay, so for the arm area, we have a butterfly system in place. So I hope the camera catches it. We have a cut on the bicep for rotation. The elbows are not pinless, they are pinned, but because of the coloration of the suit, actually it hides those pins well. But as for elbow breaks, this is where the figure would quite suffer, because of what this wide gap space when you do an elbow break. Okay, but for the handset right now, you could rotate the handsets and you have a hinge. So the other handset that you could possibly still use with the Superman figure is the Masters of the Universe Revelations He-Man figure. So the handset that comes with it, actually that Motu He-Man comes with 2 handsets. So somehow the skin tone also matches this Superman figure. But since I have that Bob Orton figure, the handsets really anatomically are correct for this Superman figure. Okay, so let's move towards the leg of the figure. So we have rotation, but not so much for the thigh, so it is hidden under the briefs of this figure. So we have 2 points of articulation for the knee, and okay, that is enough. A clean, at least a clean bend for the knee does not really disrupt the total design of the figure. We don't have, of course, any boot cut for rotation of the shin, but we have decent articulation for the foot. So look at how wide those foot rockers are. And we also have a hinge, which actually is good to go. And we have toe articulation. So the sole of the boot on this figure also has some design to it. So we have a Superman logo over there and some thread work on the boots. So the other thing also with the moving towards some of the other features or the design, talking about the design, I mean, is the cape. So you are greeted by this kind of, or this shape of a cape, which somehow, even if you try to boil this in hot water, it's not going to take the shape that you want to, because I already tried expanding this. So I dipped this figure, just the this portion downwards in a cup of boiling water, and it softened, and I tried to really spread this out if I could possibly widen the width of the cape, because somehow I really was not a fan of this really action post design of a cape. But somehow when I was already playing with this, it seemed okay. So I think I'm not going to replace the cape on this figure. It's going to be set as is. But for a Superman, classic Superman figure in my Mcfarlane Toys lot, this is, I think, the most playable that I have. As for this playable, it's going to be the classics Superman. As for bulk, it's going to be the other two Superman that I have on board, which is also on my DC Universe playlist, so you could check them out. But somehow, with regards to classic design, these are the two figures that really come toe to toe. It's just going to be the color and the difference in head sculpts. But with regards to playability, this is more playable, this is more displayable. So if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe, and see you on the next action figure review.